Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to take a little detour from some of my art videos to present to you what I know about Lazur painting, which is the kind of painting that people do on the walls inside their houses or inside Waldorf schools to create a luminous effect for the individuals who are experiencing the color in the rooms. And in order to do this breathing kind of painting, you need a lot of materials, which I'm going to go over. And I have this notebook, which I'll be taking from my own Lazur courses that I have participated in the past. And I just want to say a little disclaimer. I'm not the expert on Lazur painting, but I have done my fair share of trying to learn it and experiencing it, so I have a little bit of knowledge to share with you. So let's get started and talk about the materials that you're going to need for this kind of painting. Okay, so first of all, let's delve in to what kind of materials you're going to need and look inside my bucket here. One thing that's going to be absolutely essential for this kind of painting, besides the colored pigments, is matte medium, because you're going to need to reduce the thickness or the opacity of the paints by liquiding it out with a little matte medium. So you're going to have to buy that from the art store, and then there are a variety of different things for applying. One thing is a natural sponge. This is a very traditional way of applying the color to the walls and works really well. So definitely pick up some of those. Another thing you can do is get a little rolling thing like this with a sponge, and this can also work pretty well. I'll show you the techniques. It's not the traditional way to do it. And then a lot of people swear by large size bristle brushes. I don't love these because I find that the drips are kind of hard to control. But if you get a smaller brush, a thinner brush, in order to blend out the drips, this will be incredibly helpful. One of the disadvantages with these brushes is they may lose hairs. So the quality of the brush is going to be important. And then you're going to need a lot of mixing containers. I like to get these at the paint store because they already have the lines on them, so that when you're blending out the color with the matte medium, you know exactly the proportions. And I'm going to go over those proportions in a minute. Okay, so here you see an example of what flat paint looks like. And I do like to have some flat paint in my lazured rooms. And here you see a very subtle lazuring job, which I did. And I'm all about the subtlety of lazur. I don't like it when it looks specifically cloudy. That is a personal predilection, I suppose. But I do think that it looks more like a glaze. And as you can see, the effect of 3 or 4 layers of this on the wall gives a breathing quality, almost as if you wonder what you're seeing in the movements of the paint on the wall. Okay, so now that you've seen a sample on the wall, the next step would be for us to actually make a sample. You could try this at home. And I want you to just get in here and focus in on the proportions here. As you can see, the first layer is 12 parts and 1 part matte medium. So that's 12 parts water and 1 part matte medium. And the amount of pigment is going to be very small. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you. And then subsequent layers, second, third, and fourth, go down in parts, down to 10 to 1, and then 8 to 1, and you can go down to 6 to 1. Or if you like a little more adherence to the wall, you can add double the amount of matte medium. That will increase your expense though, so be careful about that. And once you mix it up, you're going to be ready to apply it to the wall. Look at this over here. This, believe it or not, was started as a grid in half like that, 4 parts, and each part was a certain color, a predominance of yellow, a predominance of red, a predominance of blue, and a predominance of violet. And by mixing the colors, you get all these variations. That's layers upon layers. So this Lazur tester board turned into a motif, which is a lot like a veil painting, but as you saw on the walls, it can be just flat too. And in my next video, I'm going to mix up the paints and actually do a demonstration for you on a board so you can see the technique, because actually how you apply the paint is going to be how your walls come out. So if you're going to be preparing a wall in order to follow along with my next video, which I'd like you to subscribe, please, to follow along, then I'm going to suggest to you, first you have to prep your wall. And if you have any paint on the wall, you need to paint over it. I use Benjamin Moore Regal satin paint. And I like just to get the antique white myself, because that takes on any color, but you can use a plain white if you like. And you need to wash your walls if necessary, but definitely paint over, get them white to be prepared, and assemble your materials, and we'll be ready to do it next time.